You take two musical ideas, smash them together in the middle with some other weird shit, and then present them at the end, and they'll often be transformed. Kind of like how humans go through life and transform and learn and grow and all that hippy-dippy shit. Hey y'all, today I want to share some considerations that went into the songwriting for Southampton Insurrection, the lead single off Fire at the Plantation House's debut record of the same name. My name is John. Fire at the Plantation House is my solo project, and I'm here to share my love with y'all of writing metal tunes. I'm releasing Southampton Insurrection on
May 3rd, 2024.
And I want to share some of the things that I think are really cool about the music with you. This single is available on my Bandcamp page, so I would highly encourage you to go there and listen to it before you watch the rest of this video if you haven't. The sheet music is also available for this track, and you can download it at the link in the description. So pause this video, go get the sheet music, go listen to the track, and I'll be here when you get back. Did you listen? Did you get the tabs? Sick. Alright, let's talk about the two biggest things that shaped the writing process of Southampton Insurrection. The first is the spiritual Go in the Wilderness, and the second is sonata form. Go in the Wilderness likely originated amongst the enslaved population in occupied Cusabo territory, commonly referred to as the South Carolina Sea Islands, and was first documented in or around the time of the U.S. Civil War. It's theorized that spirituals were used by people on the Underground Railroad and enslaved persons in the antebellum U.S. South as a way of communicating covertly with one another without raising suspicion among the white population. I felt that using one or more of these spirituals would make for a rich musical setting for a story told in this time period. While this hasn't been and likely can't be definitively confirmed, another theory is that Go in the Wilderness was used to call clandestine meetings in the woods away from plantations and the prying eyes of owners and overseers. Just such a meeting was the start of Nat Turner's Rebellion, the events of which this album is largely based on. Let's take a listen to Go in the Wilderness.
If you want to find Jesus, go in the wilderness, go in the wilderness, go in the wilderness. Oh, you want.
If you want to find Jesus, go in the wilderness, go in the wilderness, go in the wilderness. I use Go in the Wilderness as Nat Turner's theme, so whenever you hear it or something derived from it, Turner is likely in the scene somewhere. I'll point it out as we come across it. By the way, I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm a white man who is using a story and music that originated amongst the enslaved black population of the U.S. to make a work of art and sell it. That's like the definition of cultural appropriation. For that and other reasons, I will be donating half of the proceeds generated from sales of this record and merchandise to the Feed the People Collective, which is a small, grassroots, black-led organization committed to providing free meals for the people of San Francisco. I'll talk a bit more about that at the end of the video. Now we come to sonata form, which is a process of organizing a piece of music that has its roots in the last 300 or 400 years of Western European musical tradition. Gallons of ink have been spilled about the concept by people much more knowledgeable than I, but what we need to know for this video is the basic idea. You take two musical ideas, often contrasting, you present them at the beginning of the piece of music, smash them together in the middle with some other weird shit, and then present them at the end, and they'll often be transformed. Kind of like how humans go through life and transform and learn and grow and all that hippy-dippy shit. Now let's get to the riffs. We'll take a listen to the intro of Southampton Insurrection and look at the first group of musical ideas in our sonata form.
Blood of the men, blood of the women, blood of the children, blood of the masters, sons of my hands, callous but golden, no demons, no pledge will break their chains. Gotta be on their way. Turn on the loud ground, we must burn this cursed place, will bring peace.
Did you catch Go in the Wilderness? The obvious statement is about 13 seconds into the track when the guitars and bass presented in octaves, but it's also right at the beginning in the bass part. This statement of "go in the wilderness" is a bit modified from the original to fit the 6/8 time signature present here. This scene depicts Nat Turner and his band going house to house and killing the white slave owners and their families. The music is brutal and chaotic to really convey the bloody and frantic scene. The other distinctive musical features of this section are the use of this fragment of a diminished scale, big old power chords, and there's half steps everywhere. There's also a big old choir at the end of the section as well. It's there to add drama to the climax of the intro as we transition to the chorus. While I used sonata principle to inform the construction of this song, I knew that I wanted to have a banger of a chorus and get to it pretty quickly to satisfy the shorter attention span of today's average music fan. So, we have this chaotic, hopefully attention-grabbing intro section, followed by a jarring break in the texture featuring just the one guitar to set up the big chorus in the song.
There is a fire at the plantation house. The master's world is burning. This field has set it ablaze.
The vocal melody for this chorus is actually the first bit of music I wrote for the record. I wanted a big, soaring vocal melody a la Howard Jones of Killswitch Engage, and this melody came to me while I was walking around one day thinking of what I wanted to put on the record. There's nothing super fancy about it. It ascends an A-flat minor arpeggio to a high E-flat, hangs out there for a bit, and then makes its way back down. With the chorus, we now have the second musical idea for our sonata form. This is commonly referred to as the secondary theme. The part of the song where the primary theme and secondary theme are first heard is referred to as the exposition. Now we get to the fun part of writing a sonata, which is smashing the two themes together and coming up with new material based on them. This is called the development. The development of Southampton Insurrection can be divided into 4 different sections. Let's call them Dev A, Dev B, Dev C, and, surprise, Dev D. Let's take a listen to Dev A.
House by house, the rebels creep through the night. Some on horseback, some on foot. They'll move with purpose, spilling blood of masters, sparing no one, taking rifles and horses as they go, beating folks to death with open foes.
The main motif in this section is a palm-muted perfect fifth, moving up a half step and then back down in quick succession. I mentioned the half steps in the intro, the primary theme group, and they're showing back up here. I wanted this section to have the texture of a car bomb song with lopsided lurching rhythms, and I used a couple different combinations of tuplet rhythms to achieve that effect. Here's a couple more things that draw on material from the intro primary theme group. The big power chords here are reminiscent of the power chord motif from the intro. We also have a sighting of "Go in the Wilderness." The interval structure of this statement is identical to the original, but the rhythm has been filled in by eighth note triplets. Now this scene depicts Nat Turner and his band riding house to house, killing slave owners, recruiting people to their cause, and collecting weapons and horses. The rhythmic motifs in this section are meant to evoke the galloping of horses, and Nat Turner is in the middle of it all, directing his merry band. Dev B is a bit longer and more complex than Dev A.
Running out rebels surround the next house, gaping, word from spreading. Will they burn and die? Cut them down, no one's escape. They all die tonight. Burn this plantation to the ground. Time approaches, we must recruit
ends with the main motif of Dev A nice little detail to tie the two sections together. We've also got power chord ideas similar to the intro motif. And this little figure here is very similar to a lick from the intro. The interval structure is almost exactly the same, and it's transformed a bit when we hear it for a second time, as you can see here. The two halves are divided by this weird little interjection here. The lick heard in the guitars is not heard anywhere else in the song. It's a theme that represents another character from the story, Will, and it's featured prominently in other songs on the album. Will is Turner's right-hand man, and we can hear Turner shout instructions to Will in the lyrics of the song. We've also got these dotted rhythms at the end of this interjection that recall the dotted rhythms of Dev A. The vocal melody is just something I thought would sound cool over this. After the second time we hear Will's theme, we get this tremolo-picked pentatonic thing. It's meant to evoke Go in the Wilderness, and it sequences the rising part of the melody through the pentatonic scale. Now we get to the breakdown of the section. Again, we have palm-muted perfect fifths, a half step apart. We have this tremolo accented note from Dev A, as well as this little triplet lick. Now, the little triplet lick, in addition to sounding cool, sets up the transition to the next section. Now we come to Dev C. The triplet figure from Dev B is back as the eighth note pickup into the beginning of this riff. The half step figure from the intro is here as the ornament for the octaves in the guitars. And we've got the power chord motif from the intro, this time a half step down from the original. Dev C ends with a gnarly breakdown featuring the eighth note pickup riff mentioned earlier. Let's take a listen to all this and see if we can't pick it out as it happens. You may have noticed that all the sections in the development so far have taken their material primarily from the primary theme group. Dev D is all about the chorus and its vocal melody. Let's take a listen and see if we can't pick it out.
The whispers are true. There is an insurrection. It's leaders standing in front of me. Now it is my time. These rebels will surely kill me. I will not live to see another time. But Master spared me. He turned his men around. He told them I'm your master. That said to his bed, this man does not think that he is better than us.
That was pretty obvious, right? The second half of Dev D is just the first phrase of the chorus melody repeated over and over again with some slight embellishments and different chords underneath. The vocal melody in the first half of Dev D is derived from the beginning of the second phrase of the chorus melody. The figure in the lead guitar in the first half of Dev B is based on a melody that will be heard later in the record, similar to how Will's theme is treated in Dev B. The lead guitar figure in the second half of Dev D isn't really derived from any other material, but it's just a good complement to the vocal melody. Let's talk about this second chorus. There's a couple different things here from the first, notably the harmonies in the choir and the fact that we've changed keys. Hearing the secondary theme in a key different from what we first heard it in is a very common feature in sonata form, and some would say it's the defining feature. The vocal melody is a bit simplified here as it sits near the top of my range. I decided to omit the embellishments around the high G and instead just let the intensity of me singing that high add the excitement. Speaking of excitement, the tempo here is a bit faster than what we heard in the first chorus in Dev D. It adds a little bit more edge to the music here at the end of kind of a long song. The choir is a bit different this time around as well. There's a lot more extensions and color tones in the chords this time around, and this again is to add some interest and more excitement to this repeated material.
There is a fire at the plantation house. The master's world is burning. Experience it.
Last, but most certainly not least, we have the guitar solo. It quotes the vocal melody almost verbatim to start, and then moves on to do other things. One idea in the vocal melody it keeps coming back to is the embellishment that I left out of the second chorus. I wanted the solo to be melodic and soulful. There's more soul than flash, but there's just enough shred to keep things interesting. I'm going to do the wrap-up dialogue and then play the guitar solo as the outro music to the video. Thank you so much for watching this video and listening to me ramble on about my music. If you've made it this far, you're a trooper, and/or a mom. Hi Mom, thanks for watching. There's a good amount of elements in this track that I didn't talk about or only briefly touched on, and if you have any questions on those or anything else you come up with, please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them. If you like this track and you want to hear more of the album, there is an extra special bonus single available for download, as well as a video about said extra special bonus single that goes over the material in it and compares it to other material that it's derived from on the rest of the album. As you might have guessed, the link to download that track is in the description. So if you're sold and you want to hear the whole record and support me, the album is available for pre-order on my Bandcamp page, and there's also some merchandise available for pre-order as well. As I mentioned earlier, 50% of proceeds from the sale of this music and associated merch will go to the Feed the People Collective, a grassroots black-led organization committed to providing free meals and culinary know-how to the people in unceded Ohlone Ramaytush territory, otherwise known as San Francisco. I feel obligated to wrestle with racism and white supremacy in my music, but I feel it would be kind of an empty gesture if I did so without also using that music to provide some material support to a black-led organization committed to uplifting poor people of color. With that said, again, thank you so much for watching this video and listening to me ramble on. I'm going to let the solo play us out. Bye!